Hello and welcome back to e-CBSE online classes. We are continuing the module statistics. This time we are starting the content for class 10th. The specific topic of today's video is calculation of mean by using direct method using grouped frequency distribution tables. This is part B1 of the video series, and in the previous videos we have learnt about few measures of central tendency using an example data like the marks obtained by two students called Vani and Ramu in 5 different subjects. We asked the question, whose score is better, correct? When they took the average, Vani's average is sounding better than Ramu's. Whereas when we use the sorted data of both students and took the middle score of Ramu looked better than Vani's. Again, using the same sorted data, when we ask the question like what is the number of marks obtained in maximum number of subjects, 8 is the marks obtained by Vani in maximum number of subjects and 10 is the marks obtained by Ramu in maximum number of subjects. That way Ramu's most scored is better than Vani's. So we already noted that average is called as mean and middle score is called median and most scored is called mode in the world of statistics. Correct. So the formal definitions of mean, median and mode are like this. The mean or average of a number of observations is the sum of the values of all observations divided by the total number of observations. The median is that value of a given number of observations which divides the data set into exactly two parts. Again, remember, before you calculate in the median, you need to sort the data either in ascending order or descending order. The next is mode. The mode is that value of the observation which occurs most frequently. That is, an observation with the maximum frequency is called the mode. Okay. Now we turn our attention to mean a little more. Okay. By definition, mean is nothing but sum of all the observations divided by number of observations. Correct. It is denoted by x with a bar on top of it and it is read as x bar. We have already learned that in the previous video. And when you have say n number of observations called x1, x2, x3 and so on up to xn, the sum of the values is written as x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus and so on up to xn. In the short notation, it is written as sigma xi, where I is running from 1 to n. Here I is nothing but index. For example, when I is equal to 1, xi denotes x1 and the sigma symbol is for summation. Okay, so the formula for mean is x bar is equal to summation of xi divided by n. And now we have also looked at how to calculate the mean using ungrouped frequency distribution tables. Okay, the formula is sum of all observations can be written as summation of xi fi, where xi are values of observations and fi are corresponding frequencies. Okay, now sum of all observations is n is equal to sigma fi. So mean is nothing but x bar is equal to summation of xi fi divided by summation of fi. Okay, now we have also worked out the problem or calculation of mean using ungrouped distribution tables by taking the data of marks obtained by 30 students out of 100. Correct. So this is the table that we have been using right from the first video of the statistics. So the formula is same, x bar is equal to sigma xi fi divided by sigma fi. The first column here is marks, the individual marks obtained. These are unique values, correct? Now I am denoting that by xi. And the second column is frequency of that particular value xi. So we have worked out this example as well in the previous video. In case you are getting confused by looking at this table right now, you might want to go back and refer to the previous videos. So, and remember friends, a quick way to check whether you are doing this analysis correct or not is by checking the total of the frequency. Here the total of the frequency is 30 and you have started with total data points of 30. Okay, that should match. If that is not matching, that means you must have made some mistake somewhere. Okay, now the third column is xi fi, that is product of value into its corresponding frequency. when I sum that column, the sum is coming as 1779. So sigma xi fi is 1779. So the mean is calculated as 1779 divided by 30. It is coming out as 59.3. Okay. This entire thing we have already looked at in the previous video. If you want to look at it in detail, please go back and refer that. And now let's work out how we can do the same thing with a grouped distribution table. Okay. Instead of ungrouped distribution table, let us now make a grouped frequency distribution table from the same raw data which is displayed on this table. Now the first column will be marks. Now instead of individual values, now I am making those into groups: 10 to 25, 25 to 40, 40 to 55, and so on. There are 6 groups, correct? Now let us make a second column called class mark. And what is class mark? We have already looked at the definition of it. This is nothing but average of lower class limit and upper class limit. For example, for the class of 10 to 25, the class mark would be average of 10 and 25. 10 plus 25 is 35. 35 by 2 is 17.5. So that is our class mark. So when I work out the class mark for all the different classes, it is coming out as 32.5, 47.5, 62.5, 77.5 and 92.5. Okay. This will be our new xi in this table. The next thing to do is calculate the frequency for each of these classes. Okay. We are denoting that by fi. The first class is 10 to 25. Here there are only two values, 10 and 20. So the frequency will be 2. The next class is 25 to 40. Let's see how many are there. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, the frequency is 3 here. What would be the next class? 40 to 55, right? Let's see how many are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 values. Okay, now here you might have got a question. The number 40 is appearing both in the class of 25 to 40 as well as 40 to 55. But this dilemma we have already cleared in one of the previous videos, that whenever there is a value which is existing at the border of two classes, you have to always count that in the upper class. Okay, here the upper class is 40 to 55. So we have counted 40 in the class of 40 to 55. Okay, now next class is 55 to 70. Let's count what are the values that are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 values in the class of 55 to 70. Next class is 70 to 85. Let's see how many are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 values. Again, the class of 85 to 100. All the remaining values are in the class of 85 to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Again, before continuing further, the quick point you have to always check is whether the sum of the frequencies coming out to be the total number of observations that you have taken or not. Here the summation is also coming out as 30, so we did the calculation right. So what is our next step to do? You need to calculate the product of xi and fi. So I am making another column here, calling that as xi fi. So for the first row, that is 17.5 into 2 is 35. Similarly, 32.5 into 3 is 97.5. And I am working out the values for all the remaining rows. And the sum is sigma xi fi is coming out as 1860. Okay. So now my sigma xi fi has changed to 1860. So my mean value will be 1860 by 30, that is coming out as 62. Okay. So this is called as the direct method using group distribution tables. We have used the same formula with the ungrouped. The sigma xi fi is 1779 and the mean is 59.3. With the group distribution table, sigma xi fi is 1860 and the mean calculated is 62. And why is this difference? The difference is because with the group frequency distribution tables, all the values of a class are assumed as same. This is also called as midpoint assumption. Okay, this is why the mean calculated from the grouped distribution tables is different than the value that we have calculated using ungrouped frequency distribution tables. Okay, please remember this. Stay tuned. We are going to cover more ways of calculating the mean using grouped frequency distribution tables in the next videos. Hope you like this video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel e-CBSE online classes. Thank you for watching.